Playing MacKinnon and Nichushkin in overtime together is like picking up a dice and saying, if I roll anything but a 6, I lose. Yeah, you're going to lose most of the time. Avs lose to the New Jersey Devils 4-3 in overtime. A couple of factors here. A lot of the same mistakes remain the same. A slow start that makes the Avs' life very difficult. Massive mistakes in good process periods that negate all of the good that you've done. And a bad power play. I don't think I need to rehash any of these things because they're par for the course across this stretch of losses for the Avs. Did I mention overtime being the same guys making the same stupid mistakes? Right. I did. You also have some of the same positives. The Avs persevering and overcoming, resilient to their own issues, able to push through and at least get a point out of this game. And if I'm honest, with the context of this being a Sega Baba and New Jersey being a very good team, I'm pretty okay with the Avs getting 1 point out of this, especially with Trent Miner in net, who is a pretty much completely unproven NHL commodity. Of this stretch of losses, this might be the one that I'm least upset with. And a large part of that is the second line, who continues to yo-yo back and forth. This game, very good for them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the beginning. In the second game of a back-to-back, you expect teams to try to come out hot, get a lead, and then hold on for dear life as their legs go away. But oh no, that's not what the Avs do. Instead, what if they just spot the other team 2 goals? A fumbling puck in the neutral zone here continues to get battered around, but once it's in the Avs zone, it doesn't come out as Lecky kind of loses a puck battle on an attempted clear here. You feel like you should be pretty okay, though. The Avs have all 5 guys back, and New Jersey only has 3 skaters in the zone, with one of them lying on the ground. So you feel all right, even if they get deep into the zone. But things get a little bit floaty here. Nate just decides to double team the puck carrier with Makar, which is fine if you win the battle, and as long as you adjust around it, shouldn't be that bad of a play. The problem is, Lecky still hasn't recovered from his high in the zone, whatever that was, and Nathan MacKinnon is not very good at defense. So when they fail to do anything effective on the double team on the puck, Nathan MacKinnon is not helpful here, and a high quality shot from inside the dots beats Trent Miner. New Jersey trying to push the pace on the breakout here, but the Avs forecheck does at least disrupt things a little bit, and they have to slow it down. A pass that doesn't get through creates a bit of awkwardness for the Avs defensively, but honestly, there's nothing here. I know it's a subtle difference. The first goal goes in inside the dots. The second shot is going to come from just outside the dots. It's not that big of an angle change, but it's enough to where a goalie should be able to be in control and not give up much. This shot just goes right through Trent Miner, and it shouldn't. Boy, if that first goal's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is. But this Avs team has got to stop playing on hard mode. And I know the Avs technically don't lose this first period. We'll talk about that in a second. But you make your life so much more difficult. The exertion you have to output is significantly more when you're digging yourself out of these holes, especially from the early portion of the game. The Avs are a good enough team that they can do it as well as anyone, and maybe even more than they probably deserve. And that is a credit in their favor. But if they stop doing that, maybe they'd actually be winning games instead of just racking up overtime losses. And to be fair, Trent Miner's just got to have that second one. Giving up 2 goals in 40 seconds is not a trend I would like to continue very much. But we get to turn the page with a new look second line. The Avs kept Nelson and Nichushkin together on the second line, but they dropped Landy off of that line, and there was a rotating cast on it. Olofsson played there, Colton played there, you saw some other players take shifts there, so they're kind of finding what works, and it turns out most of it just worked. The Avs claw one of those goals back pretty quickly in the first. An initial puck gets flung towards the net by Taves, and the Avs have 2 bodies there to earn the rebound and get a puck out to safety where they can continue possession. It's a bit awkward. Makar just has to run in and throw this puck back towards the net, but simple plays, simple hockey. You have 1 body in front and a bit of a miscommunication by the Devils, who end up double teaming a man because of the chaos the Avs caught in front earlier. So when this rebound comes out, Val is uncontested, he finds it, and he rips it. Over the stretch of this 4-game losing streak, I think Val Nichushkin has probably been the Avs' best player, certainly over these last 3 games. And that's good that the Avs have an option that can step up and be that guy, but also probably shouldn't be your best guy for an extended stretch. I'm not taking anything away from Val here, really good hockey player, but You want guys like MacKinnon and Nichushkin to be on that level with him. And to be honest, this is nitpicky. I thought the top line, again, we'll get to overtime, but at 5-on-5, the top line was pretty good in this game. It's good hard work, too. Val cleans up a rebound to make that goal happen, and my expectations were pretty low. Again, the context of this game, you could understand how this would be a difficult one for the Avs, especially with that start, but the Avs say no. They're not even going to lose the first period. Avs fully set up in the zone on this one. They're working it out high. They work it up to the bumper spot as New Jersey, again, they do seem to over-collapse a little bit into the triangle area. That gives enough room for Lecky to rip a shot, and it's Nathan MacKinnon, net front, going for a tip play. That's uncommon. Actually gets a good tip on it, but it rips off of the post and in. You can't really see it, but it's right inside behind Jake Allen here. It's not gone in the net yet, but MacKinnon is able to track the puck, find it behind him, and ultimately put it home. Pretty unusual way for Nathan MacKinnon to score a goal. I'm really struggling to think of many deflection goals ever in his life, although I guess that one doesn't count as a deflection either. He had to put it back in the net off of the post rebound. But hey, a good sign. A team that has been struggling to get things over the hump simplifies their game. You have players going to the net, not just your third and fourth line grinders, but your top line guys are getting to the dirty areas and doing the right things. While the same issues continue to remain for this hockey team, I do think they're taking good steps and things that you can look at positively. So you're tied after the first. If it wasn't for the Sega Baba context, you would say that's a solid road period. The second period, the Avs come out and play pretty well at 5-on-5. They give up a grand total of 3 shots on goal to the New Jersey Devils in the second period. That is elite defense. The problem is, one of those shots looks like this. Nichushkin pinches on this play. It's a good pinch. He gets to the puck. This is all fine, but keep in mind, one of your defensemen is at the hash marks on this play right here. Initially, Ross Colton does a good job of cycling back and being the guy there. He even plays the puck and gets it in deep. But as this puck gets flung into the net, this is at best a contested puck. You cannot be convinced if you're a player on the ice that the Avs are going to end up with possession of this puck. You know it's going to be a battle. And here you see the problem. Josh Manson on an uncontested puck just completely cheats. Just cheats into the zone while Nichushkin has far from recovered on this defensive play. Now, I get the Avs activate offensively aggressively with their defensemen, but that's not a place where you can activate. You end up getting totally torched on the play. On the backside, Ross Colton also gets completely caught sleeping, to be fair, but are you really leaving a forward back in a 2-on-1 situation? Is that really a smart decision? No. Josh Manson is the guy that has to stay back and be smart there. He's not. It creates a 2-on-0. I mean, you don't see chances this good in practice half the time. Of course it's going in. Yeah, to give up a 2-on-0, you have to make some bad reads and decisions. If you can't do yourself a favor to stop making those bad of errors, then do it for your goalie who needs a little bit of help. It's the middle portion of the game, so this is the segment where the Avs forget how to actually score goals. The Avs go 0 for 2 on the power play. It's more like 0 for 1.5, but they have not solved this problem, and the PP doesn't even look all that dangerous for the most part. Being 4 for 39 on the power play this season is in fact bad. And I'm out of ways to tell you that at this point. And while I do think there is still some hope at the end of the tunnel that it just turned out the Avs started on a wicked cold streak on the power play to start this season, you can't think like that in the moment anymore. When you're losing the good process, when the puck simply isn't going in the net, at a certain point you have to do something. 1 for your last 24 is that point for me. I don't need to hash this one out anymore. This video is already going to be long enough, so we'll move on to the third period. The third period was predictably low event. For a significant portion of it, the Avs looked like they really did not have legs, which is understandable, especially the way the Boston game played out on the front half of this back-to-back. They were out of gas. But even then, they did not quit, and they do finally break through from a guy who desperately needed it. A proper breakout for the Avs on tired legs. They're able to get the red line and do the simple hockey. Dump it in, go to work. Nelson is there for the rimmed puck, is able to collect it cleanly, control it, and find Ross Colton towards the middle of the ice to get New Jersey's defense chasing. All 5 players with their skates facing towards their own goal. You might be in trouble when you're defending like that. Colton finds some space and gives this just enough time. It's not particularly dangerous directly from Colton, but it uses the space available to him. Nichushkin going hard to the net front draws 3 Devils to him, which gives a lane for Brock Nelson. This is a great pass from Colton to slip it to the top of the crease, and Nelson finishes beautifully. Today was the version of Brock Nelson I was hoping we would see against Boston yesterday. That's a guy having positive impact on the team. Obviously, the game-tying goal is huge, but played quality hockey for most of the night. It also shows the second line with Colton, who picked up the primary assist there, and the Avs have found something. I said yesterday I wasn't ready to give up on this second line and was okay continuing to run it with Landeskog on there, but clearly after a game like this, you probably need to find other solutions. The bottom 9 of your forward core was a mess, getting mixed and matched all over the place as Bednar was managing tired players and looking for some sparks. So it's hard to read too much into any particular line combinations, but it worked for the second line and it needs to stay that way. Getting this version of Nelson is maybe the biggest key for the forward core for me for the Avs. If you can get production consistently out of your second line, a lot of these issues that they're having outside of that are going to feel a lot less impactful. Yeah, you would like to clean up the defensive puck mistakes. Yes, you need to have a better power play. But if you can rely on a goal from your top line and a goal from your second line every night, that's going to cover up a lot of those issues. Some of those mistakes aren't going to hurt as bad. That gets the Avs into overtime. They played for overtime, they got the point, and I respect it in a Segababa situation. You're trying to get anything you can out of this one. And I know I've stated on here before, I don't really care about 3-on-3 overtime in the shootouts. That's true in the sense of I don't really think there's a lot to look into when you're talking about systems and how the setup looks, but that's not entirely the case. That's mostly focused on the fact that you can't glean anything about the playoffs from that, which is true. The 3-on-3 overtime doesn't exist in the playoffs, and we all know ultimately where the Avs are a make-or-break team is the playoffs. They're not a team in jeopardy of missing. I would still like those 2 points, though, and the extra points could end up mattering. Those could be things that the Avs miss when it comes to the standings at the end of the season. Not to miss the playoffs, but in a seeding conversation. But I don't really think this is the game for that conversation. I think given the context, I'm pretty content with the Avs getting at least 1 point out of this game. With that being said, if you want me to care more about overtime 3-on-3, stop playing Marty Necas and Nathan MacKinnon together, because we know the outcome there. Yes, 1 out of 6 times an all-world play will get made and the Avs will win the game. The other 5, you're pretty much just forfeiting. Modern 3-on-3 overtime is all about puck possession, so you would think, based on the Avs' power play, they understand how to be passive and look for the perfect play. But for some reason in overtime, Nathan MacKinnon decides to go 1-on-3 and simply lose the puck because he didn't pull off some near impossible play. Why? We can fast forward a little bit here. New Jersey gains possession and resets and ultimately gets into the zone. All of this is whatever. And the initial play is actually fine. The Avs do a decent bit of defending to start. Not Marty Necas, but Makar takes his guy. It looks like the Avs are going to get the puck back. Everything's okay. It's a bouncing puck. Makar has to kind of flip it. And Necas just kind of panic slaps at the puck, and then not only does he panic slap at the puck, he doesn't stop. His momentum continues to carry him up and out of the zone, so when his bad puck management is an immediate turnover and Nathan MacKinnon has just outright left the picture, oh no, that's bad, and you can't expect your goalie to save you there. In 5-on-5 situations, guys like MacKinnon and Necas are not good defensively, but they can kind of get away with playing their position and being one of a lot of bodies out there. In 3-on-3, neither Necas nor MacKinnon have a clue defensively. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. MacKinnon is one of the 3 best players in the world, and Necas has been fantastic for the Avs this year. But the second they lose the puck in overtime, you're asking them to do something that they simply don't know how to do. I get they're your best players, especially on the offensive side, and you feel like that's helping you win. But it's clearly not the case. It hasn't been the case for Nathan MacKinnon for his entire career. I know I certainly fall on the side of defending Bednar, probably more than a significant number of people, but there's no defending that. Bednar has to stop playing them together in overtime if he wants to win it more regularly. Right now, it's too predictable, and the prediction is a loss every time. Problems you have to fix, you still have to fix. The good things you do, you still do, and that's good enough to be a really competitive hockey team. Again, context in this game lets me not worry about it too much, but the follow-up game on Tuesday, where the Avs play New Jersey again, I think will be telling about the momentum and the feel around this team. So, next time, we'll see what happens. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. I am Rudo, and please, just split up Nichushkin and MacKinnon in overtime.